Hey guys, it's Sign here with HobbiesofaMan. Once again, and today we're doing our wrap-up video for the month of May. This is really early. It's not even, I think it's the 15th today. And this should go up sometime, the week of the third week of May, maybe the 20-something, right? So let's talk about what I've been watching really quick. I'm trying to do this as fast as possible because I'm about to leave, right? So I'm about to leave on a trip down to Mexico City. Okay, anyway, so let's get started here. So in terms of watching, I've watched Sinners twice. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great movie. I watched the last IMAX showing, and then just yesterday I went to watch it again in a normal screening, and I really can't tell the difference. I mean, I could tell, when the screen expanded in order to fit the IMAX requirements and stuff, but I don't necessarily know if it was significantly better. I think that I would have to be someone that is much more technically involved in movies than I am now. I'm mostly interested in story and music, in terms of how it makes me feel. I don't really pay attention to blocking or shot composition and stuff like that. So I can't say that I can tell the difference, but I'm sure most people that are very into movies would be able to tell. So, get them to explain to you why it's better to watch it in IMAX or not. I think it's good either way. At this point, there is no more IMAX showing, so just watch it any way you can. And I really think that you will enjoy it. So otherwise, I watched Thunderbolts, and I watched Phantom Menace, the Attack of the Clones, and then yesterday I rewatched for the third time in 3 weeks, Revenge of the Sith. And not much to say about any of them. Thunderbolts is really good. I really enjoyed it. I think it's cool that it's a movie about something. It's not just another episode in the Marvel machine, right? I think that it's interesting. It's about trauma. It's about difficulties of growing up. It's about, the fact that shitty people also have shitty lives and all sorts of things, right? And, to my experience, it's a bit, like the way that they solve the issue is a bit childish. But also, I'm a fan of anime, where the power of friendship trumps everything, right? And so, even though I think it's a bit simple, the way that they fix things, I also deeply appreciate it because it's something that I'm very used to from my preferred medium, right? Which is manga. So that's basically it for that. I mean, Star Wars was great. I really enjoy watching it. I'm watching it with a friend of mine, with my roommate, who is aware of Star Wars, but is not really a fan. And so a lot of time, it's interesting to see his thoughts because he's like, oh, this movie sucks, oh, this movie's good, oh, this part of it is good, and stuff like that. And it's interesting to see what someone that isn't a super fan of Star Wars thinks about it, right? And we started with the prequels because I thought it'd be much easier to start linearly in terms of the story sequence than the way that it was released, because episode 3 and then the originals are much better movies than the two starter prequels, right? Episode 1 and episode 2. And so I thought we could start with the worst ones and then build up to the really good stuff, right? And I think that works the best. We had some friends that told us, that was the wrong way to do it. And, I understand that maybe watching it the way that it was, that they came out is probably the best. But I think that in order to provide the best chance of people liking Star Wars, it's better to start with the worst ones and then move on to the best ones, so that you can tell the development, maybe not the development of Lucas as a writer or as a creator, but rather the development of the story as it becomes much more concise through the viewing experience. But people will probably disagree with me, and that's fine. If you have thoughts on that, let me know down below. But I'll probably disagree with you just because I think episodes 1 through 6 is probably the best way to watch it, just from my own personal preferences, right? So that's it for the watch list. In terms of novels, I read Cradle 8, Cradle 9, and I finished Cradle 10. I also ended up reading through a bit of 11, but I tried to stop myself before I got too into it because I want to have clear thoughts on all the Cradle books as I review them, right? So I'll probably come back and reread 10, 11, and 12 at some point later. But Cradle 8 is called Wintersteel. Cradle 9 is called Reaper? No, what is it? Bloodline. And they're really good, actually. So I think Bloodline is one that most people don't like because it's when Lyndon returns to Sacred Valley and he has to deal with his family members, right? And it's a shorter book, but also it's not one where it's super exciting because it's not a lot of fighting. It's a lot of political leanings and political development, and that's kind of different from what we're used to, right? And then that's basically it. In terms of manga, I read nothing. And in terms of comic books, let me go grab the pile real quick, and then I'll come back and we can go through it. Okay, so we start with Heavy Metal. It was a great book. I really enjoyed this. It's a very hefty magazine. It's really worth the $15 price tag, and I really enjoyed it. There were so many creators on this, and it was really phenomenal. I recommend that you guys go grab this if you haven't gotten yourself a copy. It's really worth it. Now, not every story is that great, and not every story feels complete, right? Because it's an anthology. A lot of these continue, and hopefully they get collected into single issues later. But this was a great start. I really enjoyed myself. I thought it was phenomenal. If you liked the Penthouse books, but you wanted more fantasy stuff, get this, because this is way better than Penthouse Comics. The Penthouse Comics books, which I still haven't done a year one review, and I won't get to a review of Heavy Metal either until, late into June. The Penthouse Comics books are interesting, and, the skin mag aspect of it is good, but the story selection is really poor in Penthouse Comics, and the price to enjoyment ratio that I got out of it was pretty bad. This Heavy Metal book, at least this first one, was amazing, phenomenal stuff. It was worth the $15. It was a nice, hefty book, 200 pages, and this was proper, awesome sci-fi, fantasy, blood, gore, guts, sex, violence, everything that you can want in a magazine like this. And it was phenomenal. I really loved it. I think that I really want to continue with this for as long as possible. Hopefully it remains awesome throughout the whole thing, right? And then we have Savage Sword Conan. This was great. I really enjoyed this issue. I think that this is probably the highest quality bit of, Savage Sword Conan that we've gotten. In terms of storytelling, in terms of the anthology feel, like there was a lot going on here that was really enjoyable, right? But there was a bit of a quality control issue that I experienced here with the edges of the covers. But that's not that important overall, right? And then we transition over to disparate kind of set of comic books here. Let's see if I can start with the free comic book day stuff first. And, I was going to do a video about it, but I didn't have time. So this is kind of my, speed run through this. So free comic book day, Conan, Scourge of the Serpent. This is great. I really enjoyed it. I'll have a full review for this going up in the next couple days on my Sword and Sorcery book club. Then we have the All-In Superman Unlimited and All-In Absolute Power Special Edition. This was pretty good. I enjoyed it. This one, this backside, was cool because it was a story that I wasn't sure who we were following. I guess it was Martian Manhunter. I didn't like Superman Unlimited, though. Then we have this. Nothing good here, to be honest with you. The bits that dealt with the Ultimate Universe were kind of interesting, I guess, but nothing too exciting there. However, this was a much better Marvel showing here. This is Fantastic Four, a kind of a relaunch here with Peter North, I think is his name, and Humberto Ramos, and I really like the style here. It looks really great. The art was nice, and the Giant Tides X-Men in the back was also pretty cool. So I enjoyed this one. The Star Wars one was fine. It kind of covers a few different time periods, and it's enjoyable, but it's not really that great. I feel like every year the Star Wars ones are kind of middling. There's nothing wrong with them, but there's nothing exciting about them either. This Power Rangers Prime one was pretty boring. It was quite bad. The VR Troopers part in the back was fine, but not too exciting, to be honest with you. This one was really fun. This is Thundercats versus Powerpuff Girls. This was really enjoyable. It's actually kind of weird because the Powerpuff Girls are really zany, and they interact with Snarf, and they have a fun time with him. And I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good. It's not really for adults. I think it's for teenagers and kids. So, be aware of that. This is Best of 2000 AD. Nothing interesting here. I didn't like it. The cover is great, though. But the interior was not my preference. Energon Universe. This is really good. Hound was in this. And this character here, who I think is a G.I. Joe character, but I'm not really sure. But this was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. And the cover is great. This is a wraparound, and the backside is this awesome image here. So really good stuff there. Maybe not as exciting as last year's, but pretty good regardless. Then we have the Archie Comic Book Day special, and this one was pretty good. I liked it. I think that the stories here were mostly enjoyable. Then we have the Phantom. This is really well done, but it just could not hold my attention. I thought that there was a lot of text for what was supposed to be a comic book. There was a lot of explaining about what was happening in a way that just didn't feel enjoyable. So that's kind of disappointing, but that was cool. I like that the Phantom is being brought back the same way that Flash Gordon is, right? And then we have Big Rig. This was pretty cool. I enjoyed this. but I just couldn't get into it, to be honest with you. The concept of it is really cool. The art is great because it's Nathan Gooden, but I don't know, the way the story was told just felt kind of boring to me. Then we have I Hate Fairyland. This is a great kind of primer. If you read this, you'll basically be caught up to what the next arc in Fairyland will be, but it doesn't beat reading the original series, right? Because you lose a lot of nuance. But it was a fun book. I enjoyed it. Then we have this, and boring, not very exciting. Don't even bother saying the name. Same with this one. Didn't really care. Not much to this. And then we have Isaac, and also Tower Dungeon was in here too. This is cool. I like these, not because I need them, because I already know what these stories are. I actually have a Spanish edition of Isaac, but because it's nice to have manga manga art in this size, if that makes sense. This one was really fun. It's just a tiny little ballpoint transformer who thinks he's the best thing ever, and everyone is just shitting on him constantly. Boom, 20th anniversary. This was fine. The best part here was actually the little rat people. What was it called? The Mouse Guard. The Mouse Guard story was great. Everything else was kind of middling. I didn't really care. And then we have Gargoyles Demonia. I did not get the point of this. I was a big Gargoyles fan when I was a kid, but to be honest with you, in the time since I've grown up, I've never actually experienced the full series, and a lot of it feels kind of confusing to me because the series ends abruptly and then you have to go through the comic books, and I just don't care to do that at this point. The New Godzilla books were also really good. This was really fun. I really enjoyed myself with this one. The best one is probably the first one, and then the Space Godzilla one. The apocalyptic one was not really my taste. Then we have Gundam. I got this because it was a Gundam thing. The stories here were kind of middling. I mean, it was just kind of the start of a story, but it wasn't all that important or interesting. Then we have Ultimate Spider-Man 16. Great stuff. I really enjoyed it. Thunderbolts 15. Thundercats 15. Not bad. Much better than the last couple issues. Godzilla versus Spider-Man. This was good, but there was a lot of editorial voice in it that I did not enjoy. We have Witchblade 10. Really good stuff. Thundercats 14. This was badly edited, and I don't enjoy that. And we have Godzilla versus Hulk. Good concept, good execution. Not really my interest, though. I didn't really like it. We have Marvel Rivals. This isn't not the most exciting thing ever. It's pretty basic in terms of storytelling, but it does a good job at kind of containing the lore of the story and giving you a lot of interesting interactions with characters, which I think is actually the most important part of the Marvel Rivals experience that can't be replicated through the video game, right? Yeah, Absolute Superman number 7, pretty good stuff. World's Finest Annual, good. Lilith 3, not bad, I enjoyed it. Justice League Unlimited 6. Bug Wars number 3, this is great, I really enjoyed this. Wonder Woman 20, nice stuff. 26 for Rogue Sun, this one was pretty good. And then World's Finest 38. I got these just because of the We Are Yesterday event. Then we have Herculoids 2, and this was pretty fun. I love the covers here, and I will collect at least the first arc, and then I'll decide if I really want to continue or not. So we'll see beyond that. But that's it for everything I've been reading and watching this month. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry it's so abrupt and so quick. I really would have liked to have time to do a full video like usual, but I did this as fast as possible so I could have the video without it being, something I have to wait until like middle of June to do, right? So hope you guys understand. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in a few weeks. I'll be out on vacation for the rest of May. So see you guys later.